Hi YouTube, Darth here. This is Over Your Shoulder, a series where I spectate unsuspecting players and give commentary on their play and what I might do differently. Today's victim is SpareTimeGamer44, a level 43 doggo with a fair KD and a good number of wins under the belt. With a definite preference for the assault class, I'm going to follow SpareTime today and talk about all the good things, bad things, and the things I might do differently. So let's take a peek over SpareTimeGamer44's shoulder. On the ground with SpareTime Gamer. Let's see what we're rocking here. The M1909 telescopic. Very accurate LMG. It does have a bipod, that's what I thought. Ammo pouch, crossbow launcher, HE, frag grenade, and yeah, knife doesn't matter. But he's also got an M1911. Waiting on those points and continue to rush forward with the team. Probably not going to see any action here for the first couple of minutes. Argonne is pretty much a foregone conclusion of where your action points are going to be. Usually at the onset of the game, I like to pay attention to where my team is going and then not go that way, because I can pretty much assume that the enemy team probably is leaking through the other way. So we're taking a bit of a back route here to the northwest. One of a couple of routes you could be taking. Got a couple of friendlies going along that little pathway up there, so you know that that's got no resistance currently. I'd be worried about this southern angle down here, south of Charlie, or whatever direction the game thinks it is. Oh, it's east, despite being south on the big map. Never mind. Anyways, that's sort of the big thing to pay attention to early on in the game, is where your team is leaking on this particular map. Because there are only so many routes that can get run. Just got hit by a mortar there. Responds by taking it a little bit more slowly. Now we're in the thick of it. Probably didn't need to go aiming down sights right there. Well, the faster reloading LMG is going to come in handy here. Got that bipod deployed at the moment. It's kind of nice that the bipod automatically deploys in Battlefield 1. Makes it a lot more useful. It will be set up in a lot more situations, as it seems. Currently, probably can't see that on the minimap. Let's hope that that guy doesn't find him. It seems unlikely at this point, although well, miracles do happen. It is the season of miracles. See a couple down there. Either we don't see him on the minimap because spectator mode, or we're not paying attention whatsoever. Perhaps the latter. Back up. And we can guess at where the enemies are going to be coming through. You just look where your friendlies aren't, or where the dead bodies are piling up. Trying a little bit of explosive spam here. Not going to get anywhere, it doesn't look like. Hoping that's friendly. Running through the fire. Trying to crawl to a good position is never a really good idea. Yeah, there's one right here. You should have hip-fired that and not aimed down sight. That was the end of you. Also helps that the enemy had an automatico. And spawn immediately into gas, which is always fun. Time to find a safe place to put on that mask. There we go. 35 health left. All anybody has to do is round the corner and put one into you. Plenty of enemies around here to make your day sad. Actually, what side are we on here? Okay, blue good, red bad. So yeah, plenty of enemies around. Don't know that right now. Do know that now that the flag is being limited. Oh, you should have checked this corner. That was that guy's mistake. Oof. Yeah, you should have had SpareTimeGamer44 like 7 ways from Sunday. Always check the corners first. You can expect that your enemies, if they're hiding, are probably going to be in the corners. And if you are hiding, putting yourself in a corner is not a bad idea, as you get more. You deny attack angles to your enemies, essentially. I like to keep a little bit more mobile, though, when I'm attempting to take a point. Just because if you do have somebody that happens across you, you don't limit your options. See, now we're tied down a little bit. We're taking the point, though, so all we need to do is mop up. Maybe it's better to play it safe. Really waiting on that that doorway to show some enemies to us. Not getting anything right now. Might have been a better idea to stay prone there. With a little bit more better spread going on. Not quite. Not quite got an angle that's going to be advantageous here. Oh, you got a grenade. Probably should have made use of that. No, too late. Hopefully you get a redeemer nade. So far, doing a pretty good job keeping up with the team. However, looks like the state of the map's a little bit in flux. Americans are doing pretty well, grabbing 4 points right now. I'd be a little bit concerned about those back caps. Particularly concerned that I'm running away from the only point that they have. You can pretty well assume that most of your enemies are going to be there. Let's take a look here. Yeah, they're either stuffed up against Charlie, or they are at Delta currently. We got one coming here. We don't know he's there. Should hear him, though. Audio cues are there. Missing this guy plenty. Not quite able to pull that out. I have to make a retreat. Does pick up the kill anyways, courtesy of a teammate. Nothing around here. Might as well push up. Maybe try to grab that action here to the right. Nope, cleared those guys out. Well, this is looking pretty much like a route for the German team as is. One right ahead of you. Maybe not the best time to aim down sights again. I see a recurring theme here. Do you see the theme? The theme is that he's not aiming down sights. That's the theme. Also, the theme is that apparently medics run away from dead bodies. So, having it a little bit rough right now. Only 3 flags currently captured. There's an enemy behind us. Apparently we don't know that's there. We should now, since dead bodies appear on the minimap. I think earlier I would have tried to deploy that bipod, although we were in the line of sight of enemies, so judgment call there. How much you think you can get away with? But yeah, there it is again from the rear. Just not getting those areas cleared out before moving on. Alright. Back on the right side now. Still rocking the M1909. Takes one down. On the point. Anyway, maybe stay on the point. Maybe. You can see a couple enemies up there. I don't know if they're actually spotted for him or not. Spectator sort of has God vision. I can hear plenty of bad guys around us. Those are, yeah. Nope. Blue good in this case, red bad. Yep. And I record a couple of rounds in a row. It gets a little bit confusing. So yeah, the German team is having real difficulty getting any traction going whatsoever. Although they aren't that far off, so they could still stage a comeback. You need to unlock that first, brother. There we go. Oh. Good instinct to just start shooting when you saw a body there. Can't quite do any harm to that. Yeah, the American team here, Bravo. Shouldn't be any surprise that the Germans have retaken their back caps. I'd be kind of curious to see what this confrontation at Charlie looks like. You have pretty much a rehash of the original situation on this map, where you have both teams confronting each other in the middle. Again, this is one of those times where you want to take a look at the map and see where they are and where your team is not. And they're probably the same places, to be honest with you. Getting a little bit overzealous there. This is probably one of my favorite LMGs, despite the fact that I tend to favor the BAR. Or the BAR, or whichever you prefer. The old flying ammo pack. So, yeah, we can see that there's nobody down here to the east side of the map. I want to call it the south side, since that's the way it appears on the overmap, but it is not. Yeah, so Germans pretty firmly control the center right now. They managed to turn this game around because the entire American team went to Bravo. Might be able to force a breakthrough on that east side. So your team looks like they're pretty well defending that that left side. I guess you're not going to be able to get up that way. Usually I like to look for openings and where I think the enemy team is not. Or if I'm trying to defend, I try to find the spots that my team is ignoring. That's going to be a problem, so overthrew it. So that's good. Nice to get a little piece of them there. Again, don't know if the knowledge that we're seeing on the minimap is accurate or not for what he can see. SpareTimeGamer now cruising along with the friendly team. This is why I say you always got to pay attention where your team is not, because breakthroughs like this happen pretty frequently on Argonne. And we can see a lot of enemies here. Doing a couple pick-off. Managed to get cut down by a flank to the right. Our problem there, doing a lot of left and right dancing. Looks like we spawned on a friendly. We're straight into doom. There it is. Alright, back with the friendly lines now. Managing to capture Charlie. We pushed him off that point, but managed to hatch another grenade. Let's see if this friendly medic manages to pick him up. Nope, that ain't happening. So, not able to get a lot of traction in the last couple of lives, mostly just sort of getting killed on spawn. Might want to choose your spawn locations a little more carefully. Good instinct here, trying to go around looking for an easy flank on the enemy team. Not exactly sure where we're at right now, just outside Delta. Okay, so we're kind of sort of in an interesting spot. This guy's getting a knife. Knifed! But walked right into respawns. So, take a knife with a grain of salt. That's why it's sometimes more valuable to just shoot your enemy rather than to get yourself locked into a long knifing animation. They're not quite as long as they were in Battlefield 4, but they're still pretty lengthy and lengthy enough to get you killed. Particularly because it creates a lot of motion and it's pretty easy for any enemy to see. So the American team's back in control of this map. Launching a Jesus nade. And then we get something there. I think that one was probably a little bit too long-lobbed.
Ammo, pick it up.
And just sort of hoping for some free kills there. Not going to happen today. I might save my explosives for another time. For your support, so you can always get them back. Again, throwing a couple of I hope this kills somebody. Oh, managed to get a hit on that one, so he's no doubt going to launch a few more. There's one. It's gonna do the mortar here, I guess. Hello, buddy. Gets a freebie courtesy of a teammate. You see all those dead bodies down there, I'd start to wonder if the enemy was making a breakthrough. Because they have God vision? No, they have not yet. But I'd probably be moving to defend that, because there's more than enough teammates here to take care of this spot. You don't need to be where your entire team is. In fact, I usually get a little bit irate when I find my entire team on me. Or I find myself in the entire team. Because you're not being very efficient with the players on your team. You don't need, for example, like right here, 8 players to defend from 3. I think the German team has resigned itself to losing because they're not doing much to push right now, particularly on the flanks. You don't have to look directly at the thing to put on a gas mask. They managed to get it on anyways. So let's take a quick look at what's going on here. Yep, none of the back flanks are being threatened. The Germans can't push through this little quagmire going on here, so I doubt that they're going to get anything going here in the latter half of the game. Getting hung up here on the rocks a little bit. Probably not going to get any action here. You can see that there's plenty of friendlies. I'd really be trying to push that eastern flank right now, that right side. Usually a lot of fertile ground over there to make some headway, or at least make breakthroughs for your team. The breakthroughs usually don't come when you go run straight up the middle. Despite what Battlefield players might have you try to think with their incessant desire to just mash meat into the problem. This is very dangerous because you are walking in front of all of those guns at Delta and in front of all those respawns. Not sure what he was thinking there. Probably realized it was a bad idea and started running back. Not being very efficient right now with those lives. Now, I can see that there's a bunch of enemies there, and I can definitely see a bunch of dead bodies. I really try to avoid the piling in after the friendlies, because you really just make open spots for the enemy team to come in, particularly on this map. You have to be very aware of the routes you're opening for your enemies. The Germans are going to get cleaned up here pretty well. Not sure where we're going with that. I might try to find something a little bit better. A little bit too close to that grenade, and we hatch at least one of them. Comes a medic to pick him up. Got lucky on that one. Should have died and stayed dead. Nope. There's the final bullet that makes sure his zombie corpse stays down. Alright, back up again. Really could stand to play it a little bit safer here. That train is going to make a lot of headway here. There's just too many friendlies all bunched up on the spot. That might actually turn this game around for the Germans based on how much of a cluster is going on here. There's not really much in the north to stop it either. Back on the ground with Spare Time Gamer. Yep, getting taken out from behind, panicking a little bit, running around. I think I would have stayed in place and tried to find the source of that. No luck here. Getting a little bit frustrated. Almost accelerated past this res coming in. Nope, the res got taken down too. No luck. And as you can see right now, that train is handily pushing them off of that point. You might actually see that train turn this one around. So, a real rough game right now. Spawned almost immediately on a grenade. Thank you for that one. Having to play the back-off game. Right now, I'd be either trying to figure out how to set up a defensive position against that, the enemies coming up the center, maybe hold on to Bravo, or try to take the western flank on that left side. Try to push up past the train, go grab Echo and Delta. Now you got the train behind you and you're going to be in trouble if you can't get this taken out relatively soon. A lot of damage already done to that train. A lot of damage done to the face from the Model 10A Hunter. Surprise! The gun's still popular. Here we are back up again. Looks like at least one of his squad mates took the right idea, getting in behind here. The general inclination of players on this map seems to be to follow the train whenever it's pushing. And that opens a lot of opportunities, especially in these back areas, for making sure that the cap stays in your favor. Because as you can see, usually the train runs straight to Charlie and doesn't get much further than that. Looks like he's trying to set up on this... do we still have the telescopic? Yeah, we do. We still have that telescopic sight, so we still have the bipod. I guess he's trying to get the bipod set up here. Anyway. There's one. Real slow reaction time on that. You can see one here. Oh, man. That was lucky. You just heard the train explode. Not sure what we're trying to accomplish here. Trying to save himself a little bit of health. Grenades are flying. Looks like most of the enemy team is spawned here at Echo. We don't quite know that. We just know that we're outnumbered by a fair amount. There's one. Managed to almost blow his own face up. This is going to be a problem. Yep, there it is. So, spare time. Not really be able to get a whole lot going this game. Not sure why we're trying to shoot that far away at a moving target with this weapon. Particularly when we're not set up. Not great recoil control there. Yep. Don't go closer to the shotgun. That's the mistake. Yep. There's trench. All kinds of enemies coming that way. Probably would have been better to hold up at the point and wait for your own friendlies to push up a little bit before trying to push the entire enemy team with your LMG. No harm, no foul. We're back up again. Intuits that he needs to put on a gas mask before walking through the gas. I'm trying to work around a little bit here. He's just going to run into his giant pile of enemies. There's nothing he could do really right there. They were on his case from day one. I might try to pile up with a couple of friendlies there. Maybe find some reinforcements before pushing that point. You can pretty much gather that the entire enemy team was there. Looks like the rest of them are at Echo. And here we are at this repeat of an earlier situation where we're pushed up to ABC and the enemy team just has Delta and Echo. Running around, scope down sights. I can't imagine that's a good idea. I think... Are we bugged here? I think we're bugged. So... That's unfortunate. Yeah, we're going to have to wait for him to go aim down sights again. Spectator bugs, I can't believe it. There we go. For the amount of time it took to get spectator mode, we still have bugs in it. Ta-da! Good intuition here going for the flank. Not going to need a lot of resistance. We got that fog rolling in now, so you're going to have a little bit of assistance up here, up top. You're not going to be found by too many enemies. See one there, managed to pick him off. Do the work his teammate could not. I don't know why we switched to this, but got him all the same. Finally getting a little bit of work done here. Enemy team isn't really well set up to stop this flank. We're got a lot of friendlies pushing on Delta, so they're going to have most of their focus up on Delta. It's a good time to pull off a flank, but that's the end of the game anyways. I could think of one of the primary weaknesses that SpareTime had was not knowing when to hip fire and when to aim down sights. There were a couple of deaths early on that could have been prevented by trying to hip fire as opposed to aiming down sights. The general rule is that if your opponent is closer than 10 to 15 meters, hip fire is probably going to be better. Additionally, there were a lot of times when SpareTime got into situations that could have been prevented by map awareness. Knowing where your enemy is going to be setting up lanes and offensives is pretty critical in Argonne Forest and is a good skill to have on any map. And one last critique would be to stand still when taking advantage of aimed accuracy. If an opponent isn't actively shooting at you, you should plant your feet and take your shot. That's it for this episode of Over Your Shoulder. If you'd like to be featured in a future episode, be sure to throw me an invite on Origin. Keep in mind that I can't cross-spectate platforms, so you'll need to be on PC. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, YouTube.